Hello and welcome to an AusBiz virtual investor event, Succession. Now, we've had an enormous response to this, which just goes to show what an important issue it is. I'm David Koch. I'm going to be your host for the next hour or so as we're going to try and give you some ideas you can use, some information you can take away to really help you think about the process of transferring wealth from one generation to the next. So let's get into it. We've got a lot to get through, a lot of your questions to answer. And in the first session, I'm joined by Cody Harmon, co-founder and director of Cruz Family Office, Michael Bassina, partner with Piper Alderman, and Greg Daniels, strategic counsel for Premier National. Gents, welcome. The response we've had to this is enormous. You guys are at the forefront. First question is, we've themed it around succession, the show. How realistic is that, Cody, with some of the family offices you deal with and some of the families?
Yeah, it's a bit dramatised. However, a lot of commonalities in the show are you generally have a patriarch that in a lot of cases over-focuses on building wealth and continuing to chase more growth in their business, build more wealth as a family, and as a result of that, maybe neglect some time spent with family and actually building and nurturing those relationships.
Greg, is there always a power battle between the founder and the kids who want to undermine mum and dad and say, hey, I want my slice of the empire early?
Well, I think, Koshi, there is always a power battle. It may not be as dramatic as was portrayed in Succession. I hope anyway. So I think it's a natural thing. I think if you have a founder of a business that grows the wealth of that business through perseverance and hard work and dynamism, then inevitably the personal side will get a bit left behind.
Right.
So the kids are usually then often left to their own devices to make their own decisions without proper input from the family.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing and why this has become so important is because of this massive transference of wealth that's about to happen.
Michael, how big is that transference of generational wealth?
Well, Koshi, thanks for having us on. That's one of the biggest transfers of wealth I think the world will see as we see the demographics move and a lot of successful business founders looking to pass on their legacy. And just to build on that comment, I think I've been practicing law for nearly 20 years and most disputes in the courts have some kernel in a personal relationship or a personal issue that's come up. They're not always purely driven by just the law or an argument over the contracts.
Right, okay. So, because founders are a set personality, aren't they? They're a type A personality, they're very confident, power sits comfortably with them. Often they don't want to delegate it. Is that one of the nubs of the issue?
I think so, coupled with alignment of expectations. And when, sorry to lawyer it, but contracts and other documentations are about aligning expectations, but they don't always capture everything. And so I think to Cody's point, having that emotional alignment or real communication is super important.
And Greg, how many families have contracts between them? Not many, I would suggest.
Not many.
No.
Not many. And I think if the negotiation of those contracts would create massive schisms within themselves.
Yes.
So I think it's something that a lot of these families shy away from initially.
Yeah.
But with guidance from people like Cody, I think can come to the table.
Cody, succession is all about legacy. What's the meaning of legacy in this instance?
Well, David, it might be better reframed as another question: is what does your family name mean to you?
Right.
And what set of values and actions do you want to transpose and impart to the next generation and perpetuate in your family? And so when you think about legacy, it's not just about money. It's also about how do we educate our children so they're ready to not just inherit the wealth, but actually get it and take it and move it to another level. And so that involves involving them on investments as a family. That involves bringing them into some of the deals that you're invested in and giving them work experience and encouraging them to take risks. It's not enough to just go private school, Sandstone University, it's all done and you're okay. You have to be involved, spend time with kids and be a great role model.